Hi, I'm Glenn Simpson, and I've collected comic books for over 40 years, and I'm showing off my collection one box at a time. Today we're looking at box number 58. We're going to finish up on the elementals, and then we are going to get into some Eternals and eventually make our way into Excalibur. So I'm glad you're here. I hope that you will smash that subscribe button, do all those good things. Let me know how things are going and anything you'd like to see, particularly if you'd like to see what's in one of the packs that we're skipping. So let me know, and otherwise, here we go with box number 58. All right, picking up where we left off last time. We've got Elementals Volume 2, number 1, there. Continuing their adventures. Goes through issue 4. Right there. Again, Kamiko, independent series about 4 people who have the powers of the 4 elements. Very grown up, adult, The Boys kind of book. Issue 5, right there. Didn't we do the tarot thing last video? I think we did in the other series. Issue 5. Through issue 8. There. Issue 9. I always liked Vortex. Vortex is the air guy, and I always like his suit. But as I mentioned in another video, I like blue and white, and that is why, you know, on the intro in these videos, my little fake superhero, he's got an all blue and white suit. I just love those colors together. Issue 9. Issue 12 with, I believe, an Adam Hughes cover. I mean, not a girly cover, but Adam Hughes, early Adam Hughes, doing some covers on these next few issues. That's Elementals Volume 2, number 12, part of the Oblivion War, if you want to look for that. Issue 13 does not have an Adam Hughes cover, but there's issue 13. I believe the Oblivion War was, there was this big, creepy, scary, magical thing coming for Earth, and all the elementals and all the other superpowered people have to kind of get together and prepare to defend the Earth. Issue, hard to read, 16. We're back. Yeah, they're back because they stopped being published for a while. I believe between 15 and 16. So this was at a point when they would come and go, months in between. Issue 17. They took a break to show how the elementals would take out Saddam Hussein, which, you know, if there's anything that sounded very late 80s, early 90s, that's what they did, and that's another Adam Hughes cover right there. So there you go. Issue 21, right there. We're still in the Oblivion War. They got their version of legacy numbering, 50th anniversary issue. I didn't know. So that's what this is. Add them up. Issue 22. I think this one might just be a rare book because I don't know why. I can't remember why it's expensive, but this one's a little pricier. And character Monolith, the Earth Elemental, his powers change, I believe. And then issue 23, we have some not so hot artwork. And then it went away for a while, came back. Issue 26, we actually have some So Merritt Michaels, we saw at Image. Antonio Daniel, that's Tony Daniels. I believe that's you know, the guy from the first run of the New 52 Batman, or the art, you know, became a well-known Batman artist. So early work for him here on this Elementals resurgence, and that's that. So then there was a lot of thirst going on with the Elementals. A lot of oh wait, yeah, that's all right. No, that's all right. Anyway, and so they had these sexy specials, and I don't normally get that kind of thing, but since I was trying, I'm a completist, and you know, I like the Elementals, so you know, I hunker down. And some of these are very rare and expensive, and the ones that are extremely rare and expensive I don't have. But there's the Elemental Sexy Lingerie Special Chicago right there. They had 4 Elementals Sex Specials. Sorry if this is, you know, offending anybody. There you go. Sorry. There you go. Okay. Various stories involving Sex in the City kind of stuff. Had this Elemental Special. This was from way back when Mike Willingham, or Bill Willingham rather, was still drawing it, about children who are missing and being and child predators and things. So this is actually a pretty good thing. And issue 2 was still Bill Willingham, and some interesting good superhero storytelling in that. So that's that. Let's see. Then we move on to Elflord. I don't know why I have this. I'm not really an Elfie person, but this was, you know, an ElfQuest copy, I guess. I don't know if you're a big Elflord fan, maybe you might disagree. I don't know. I've been a gajillion years since I read it, but I've only got one copy. It's issue 15. So. Elongated Man, jumping back into more tame quarters. Elongated Man of the Justice League America and whatnot, and has his own 4-issue miniseries. So issue 1 right there. Unfortunately, well, I guess, of course, it is written by Gerard Jones, which he has his problems. So maybe we're still in a rough spot here. But anyway, that's issue 4 there. E-Man, fairly uncontroversial. Kind of a Plastic Man kind of character from, I think he was originally a Charlton Comics character, and then First Comics brought him back. And so I've got a few issues of this resurgence. That E-Man issue 1 right there. E-Man issue 3. I need to get issue 2 of this, but doing a little play on the Dark Phoenix thing right there. Then we go to jumping over to Marvel. They had a few years ago, their Empyre crossover, outer space. Who's going to be in charge of everything in outer space? Skrulls, Kree, all that good stuff. Avengers and Fantastic Four getting caught up in all of that. That's Empyre number 1 through number 6 right there. And then there were a variety of one-shots for that. Included in those one-shots is Avengers Empyre Aftermath there, and Empyre Savage Avengers there. Then there was Avengers Empyre Zero there. I don't know why that's not in that little pack with everything else. Oh, I know why. And then Avengers Empyre 1. Or Empyre Avengers 1. Through 3. Right there. White Knight. Getting back in the saddle. And Empyre Captain America. Issue 1. There. Through issue 3. And Empyre X-Men number 1. Angel's lacking his little halo thing there. Issue 1 through issue 4. Kyle Hotz doing that artwork. I recognize that. Not saying I like it, but I recognize it. There. Enter, so we got to Enter the Heroic Age. It was a one-shot, kind of just catching up on some heroes and what they were doing at that point, and in the Marvel Universe. There. Got Eradicator. This was a 3-issue series featuring one of the dudes, the creature that tried to impersonate Superman after his death and tell everybody he was Superman, and it's actually a Kryptonian artifact taking human form. And then he joined the Outsiders, and while he was in the Outsiders, he got his own 3-issue series. That's issue 1, and that ran through issue 3 right there. Essential Vertigo. This one was, because it has its own title, I didn't file it with the other Swamp Things, but this is a reprint of, I don't remember which issue, but one issue of Swamp Thing right there. Oops, sorry, you can't tell. There you go. There you go with that. The Eternal, written by Chuck Austin, who's sort of a controversial, this is a very controversial box, controversial writer. I don't even remember what's going on in this thing, but I need to get the rest of them. But it's a play on the Eternals, I believe, and just a different look at them, which of course that's what we're about to get all up into. But that's issue 1 of the Eternal. I've got a, don't freak out, it's a facsimile, well, it's a True Believers of the Eternals, number 1, right there. I've never been a big Eternals person. I have issue 7 of the original series that I picked up at some point in my adventures. I think I'm going to get the trade paperbacks at some point to read. They're on my want list, but at some point I did start trying to complete, because you know they're fairly easy once you get past the original series. It's not too hard to get a full run of everything else. So here's issue 1 of the next series, 12 issues. And issue 2, which is the first appearance of somebody. Eternals Volume 2. Some first appearances in there. Eternals number 3. Oh, that was, well, that actually might have been the first appearance of Phastos, and of course this is his first cover appearance in issue 3. There's issue 7, Athena and her boyfriend, Crow, there. Issue 8, there. Through the issue 12 with Ghaur, West Coast Avengers showing up. Ghaur. There was a Neil Gaiman and John Romita series, 6-issue series, of which I only have issue 3. There you go. Pick that up in a dollar box somewhere. Working on that. Here's actually a variant cover to the next series. Daniel Knopf, I believe the Knopf, Daniel Knopf is the name, and artist, and I'm sorry, don't remember the names. Anyway, variant edition cover, this Eternal series. Then we get to issue 4, regular cover. I've had this issue for a while because I was like, oh look, Iron Man, let me grab that, and then now I got to get the rest of them. That's how I end up buying stuff. And issue 5 there, and issue 9. I believe is the final issue of that. There's some X-Men crossover and all that. They had an annual there. And we get to the most recent stuff that was put out, you know, kind of when they were pushing it for the movie and everything. Kieran Gillen, Esad Ribic, Eternals #1 through number 4, right there. Number 5 there. 12. Then some one-shots, Celestia, and the Heretic. Got a one-shot from I believe, even though it doesn't say it on here, the title of this one is Eternals, the Herod Factor, or something like that. So I think this is tied into one of those previous series, or it was just a trademark preservation kind of thing. We got this Eternity Smith series, kind of another small press, Renegade press. This guy comes back from the future to the present to help his daughter and to save the present from becoming a bad future. Kind of a Tom Strong kind of thing going on. So I've got issue 1, and for some weird reason it becomes kind of adult after a while, and issue 5 has some nudity in it. But it starts off as a very Buckaroo Banzai sort of thing when it starts off, that the daughter is in a rock band or something like that. Got even more Secret Origins reprint of this 80-page giant right there. And then we have Event Leviathan. Back when Brian Michael Bendis came to DC, he did this series. It was about a mystery man who Basically takes out all of the various spy agencies that DC had and united it all under his power. And the greatest detectives have to figure it out. Getting Batman and the Question, and I don't know that the Green Arrow is all that great a detective, but the 6-issue series trying to figure out who is it going to be, who is it the event Leviathan, or who is the guy, and spoiler, it turns out to be Manhunter, the guy from the old Manhunter series. So there you go. From the not the one from the 70s, the one from like the 80s. So there you go. And that brings us to Excalibur. So we start off with the negative or -1 issue of that. A little play on one of the old X-Men covers right there. But talking about some of the background on Nightcrawler in this issue. But then we get to Excalibur #1, which is actually the second appearance of Excalibur. We will see, got a little label on the bag there. The second appearance of Excalibur. There was a one-shot special that they start in, and alphabetically speaking, it ends up being towards the end of the run. So we'll get to it eventually, but that's the first issue, issue 1. Alan Davis doing the art. Beautiful stuff. Lots of humor right there. Everybody thinks the main X-Men are dead, and so these few X-Men go to England and become superheroes there with Captain Britain. If you want to get this in focus, if you want to pause that one, if you've never read this one, it's kind of funny. It's issue 4, issue 7. We're in the Inferno crossover, where the demons from Magic's Limbo have come to Earth, and all kinds of wackiness is happening. An X-Men crossover there. Issue 8 there. Visiting New York. Got Ron Lim doing some cover there. Issue 11. Of course, this series had Rachel Gray, the future daughter of Jean Grey and Scott Summers, from one alternate future who came back to the present. She winds up getting the Phoenix powers. Marshall Rogers, classic Batman artist, doing some covers on here. Issue 11. Issue 12. Alan Davis and Paul Neary back to do covers on that one. The Cross Time Caper. I think this was coming out. I think the Cross Time Caper may have come out twice a month. Gosh, now we're getting back to me in college, my college years, but I think that's right, and that was why we were having a few issues without them. But this was a 9-part series, but it's issue 12 through 16 right there. 17, searching for a new Captain Britain, and through issue 20, another is that Ron Lim, Marshall Rogers, I don't know, can't tell, cover there, issue 20. 21. There. Oh, what was this guy's name? Oh, Wozniak. Chris Wozniak. Doing cover that cover. Issue 28. Colleen Doran. Classic artist doing that cover. Issue 29. There. Chris Wozniak on that cover. Issue 36. Some Mike Gustovich in there somewhere. I didn't know that anywhere. Oh, David Ross. No, David Ross and Al Milgrom. That's okay. Yeah, bless their hearts. Okay. I had a friend in high school named David Ross. Issue 37. The hits keep coming with Mark Badger on the covers there. By the time we get to 44, we're back to Alan Davis. We're all safely back with in the sweet, sweet arms of Alan Davis. Right there. I also knew another guy named Alan Davis. Issue 45. Bringing in some of the characters from the Captain Britain series. I mean, they've been doing that all along, but continuing that. Here in issue 45. Issue 52. Doing a little mock-up, fake. This situation doesn't actually really happen in the book, but hey, if it'll get you to buy it. 52. Issue 53 with a guest starring of Spider-Man. Of course, Captain Britain had a notable guest appearance in Marvel 2 and Marvel Team Up with Spider-Man before, as one of his first U.S. appearances. 61. Rachel getting the Phoenix is getting the best of her right there. And 68. Got some Starjammers action. Got Ceres, who was I liked her. She was from the Shi'ar, and she came and joined the team for a while. There was some romance with Nightcrawler, but we never saw her again after Excalibur. Sorry. Issue 69. Right there. Rescuing a little baby alien. 69. Issue 72. A little showdown with her mom there. And we've got 73, Nightcrawler, Sienna Blaze, I believe is her name. Dealing with her. Issue 80. Got Douglock showing up, which is the, Doug Ramsey, the friend of Kitty Pryde, who could speak any language or could read any language. And then Warlock, the alien mechanized creature. And at some point, Doug died, and then Warlock merged with Doug and brought him back, and all kinds of strangeness going on there. Steve Epting later would do some like Captain America, doing cover there. Issue 80. Issue 81. Not real sure why Professor X is having a story here in Excalibur. but he's getting him some sugar there, so good for him. Good for Chuck. There. Issue 88. We've introduced at some point Pete Wisdom, another English mutant that would have a relationship with Kitty Pryde. There. Shoot these fiery knives from his hands. Kind of a Hellblazer, John Constantine type. Issue 89. Nightcrawler getting caught back up with his sort of both adoptive sister and love interest, Amanda Sefton, that he was raised with. There. 96. A new version of the Hellfire Club Excalibur's gonna have to deal with. Excalibur was around for a long time, folks. Just saying. 97. One story dealing with another one, Nightcrawler. 104. Some more Doug Ramsey, Warlock stuff going on. 105. Brian Hitch, by the way, doing some art and continuing that Doug Locke story. Issue 112. There. Ben Rabb. I wonder whatever happened to Ben Rabb. Issue 113. Dealing with the High Evolutionary. Colossus and Megan. Kind of in a bit of a Guardians of the Galaxy 3 situation here. Cornered in Wundagore. There. 120. Oh no. Kitty Pryde and Pete Wisdom are not going to stay together. Oh ho. Oh no. Boo-hoo. 121. Dealing with Legion. This is before? No. This was not before the whole Age of Apocalypse thing. So I think this is. But originally, Legion, when we first met him, he only had 3 alternate personalities. So I guess we could still be dealing with post Age of Apocalypse Legion here. But anyway, 121 Legion. 125. We have the final issue where Captain Britain finally marries Megan, and hilarity ensues, as I so frequently say. There. Let's see. They had some annuals. Annual 1. There, introducing this Chaos guy. There. Issue. Annual 2. What is Captain Britain? At some point, he changed his name. He became Britannic or something like that. He quit being Captain Britain for a while. So there you go. And of course, Psylocke hanging out because that's his sister in somebody else's body. Long story. Oops, sorry. There you go. There. And that was the final of that series. Then later, the series gets brought back. 4 issues. Kind of taking just whoever was the normal mainstream English heroes at the time UK heroes and putting them together for 4 issues. It's issue 1 through issue 4, right there. And then we had another version, Chris Claremont, Aaron Lopresti. This is kind of an interesting series. Xavier and Magneto back in Genosha, which was the country that was had been using mutants as slave labor, and the mutants took over, and then there was a whole bunch of mutants died there. And maybe you remember the resurgence of the X-Men cartoon from a few years ago. The big thing at the end of that was an adaptation of the Genosha thing. So that's issue 1. And it's issue 8. Got a few new mutants being introduced here. Putting this little girl in the fishnets. We've got issue 9. So Dark Beast from the Age of Apocalypse is hanging out and causing problems. And that series ends with issue 14, because we're about to go into House of M. To give you a frame of reference of when this was going on. And that is all of this box. All right, as we used to say, cool beans. We are, that was 58. We'll next get into 59. We'll finish up some more Excalibur, some Exiles, and then we'll get into the Fs. We'll do some Falcon and Fallen, and make our way into some fantastic stuff, but not Fantastic Four quite yet. But I still hope you'll be here next time, and I hope you have a great day.